Okay, welcome to another episode of Panakal Podcast for Geeks, the show about good friends hanging out, talking about the things we all love. Is it we all love? Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay. I need to stop second guessing myself and just go with it. That's like becoming my thing now, because as soon as I say it, I'm like, whatever. You guys all know my
You need
co-host,
you
Andrew
need to just
Sides.
write it. You need
I
to
just need
print
to
it
like
up
ride it
above your
along
head.
as if I know I should, but I should be able to put it in memory. Today we don't have a guest, so we're just going to
We're
do an
spinning our
episode.
plates.
We're just gonna go with it and do an episode because we gotta keep cranking these out.
Yeah.
I
How
was
you been, Alan?
tired, man. I've been dealing with. I made the mistake of taking on two projects when I should only take it on one. You know about
Hmm.
both of them.
Yes.
Um, and one is one is was moving along okay, but as of today, the bigger project, the big one, where I showed you the landscapes the other day, they switched my art director. So now I have a new art director, and
Oh,
it kind of
that's
it kind of annoys me
sorry.
because you,
Without being like too specific, how large is the company? I was under the impression a company of that kind would really only have one art director.
no, so it's a board game house, and they apparently have multiple art directors working on multiple games. Uh,
Interesting. That's like magic level of to me.
yeah.
That's like magic level of
Well,
of scale.
it's because they bought they're owned by a bigger corporation that bought several board game houses. So like if you're at Gen Con, without naming names, but if you're at Gen Con, they were the second largest setup at the show this year. I can't
Oh,
even remember who the
it.
first was off the top of my head.
I just sent a question to you. Is it that company that I just sent it to you in the chat that
Yeah, I
bought them
think
up?
no. The
Oh,
company that
okay.
bought them up.
Because that's the big one.
So I think so. My screen just went blank because I switched. Sorry about that. Um, I think the company you just sent me had the biggest booth at Gen Con, and then I can do this from my cell phone, so I'll tell you the name of the company. I don't wanna put them on blast here because they're not bad.
Right, right.
It's just I'm not used to and the
Oh,
company
never
and
even heard of them. That's interesting.
right. So they own all these companies, and I work for this company, and they
Right.
also own uh there you go. Which is a
Oh,
big company. I was shocked to see
okay.
that second company sold to them, but I think it's just the U.S. division. Um,
Mm.
I mean, I guess whatever. I don't know if I can name drop them. I'm not saying anything bad about them.
No, but
Let's not.
contract stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, contract stuff. Let's
better
not.
safe than sorry.
Yeah. So either way, I have a friend who's an art director there who I've known for a while, and he wanted me to work with them, so I signed a deal and I'm working with them. And I'm fine working with my friend because I know him. I've known him for years, so I know how he thinks, I know how he talks, I know how he acts. But now he's on so many other projects. He's like, I need to transfer you over to this person. She's super chill. He says. So far, she seems fine. We'll see how it goes. And then already small things are happening that are like when you're used to doing things a specific way and then they're like now we're going to do it
Mhm.
this way and you're like god. So like I've been talking to the game designer and this AD through Discord the whole time, sending them images through Discord, updates through Discord. This new AD does not want to use Discord, doesn't even touch Discord, and they want everything sent through Google Drive or something. And I was like, can I use Dropbox because that's what I've got. um,
Mm.
so we'll see how it goes. And I was like, I already have 8 out of 24 illustrations done, and nobody
That is
updated
the
her.
one. That is the one frustrating thing with freelancers. Like the companies I've worked with, every single company does it a different way. Like one uses Slack,
Yeah,
another uses
I hate Slack, by the way.
just it's fine. It's fine. It's
It's
not great.
fine. I can
It's
get through
fine.
it because I used it when I worked for Renegade. Renegade uses,
Right.
I can name drop them. They use just all Slack, which is fine,
Yeah.
but I haven't
But
touched
like
it since.
well that's the thing, like, oops, sorry. So yeah, like I have one that uses Slack. There's another one that uses Google Sheets. There's another one that uses Figma for all of their like mood board and
Sure.
brainstorming and stuff. And so you're just invited to this gigantic Figma board, and you're like, all right, I gotta fucking navigate through this thing. Like
I've
I'm
never even
like it
heard of
like
Figma.
Figma is traditionally it's used for XD UX design and
Okay.
everything like letting you like wireframe out stuff and figure it out. That it's basically a whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
So it's effectively like an infinite canvas, and there's like markup tools and stuff within it. You can draw like simple vector shapes and stuff. So I've seen it like for UX design, but I've also seen people use to be like, this is where our mood board is and all of our shit for brainstorming. And so you'll just have like this giant infinite canvas, and it's
Oh,
like this
God.
little area over here is like our first iteration. Then here's our second iteration. Over here is our word salad of like where we're word association for this thing and all that kind of deal. And then
That
like
sounds kind of stressful.
it's it's very intimidating when you first open it up because you know it's like getting dropped in the middle of the game. You're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
Um, but then yeah, like you get on a meeting or two and it kind of sorts itself out. But yeah, Google Sheets,
And that's how this, yeah.
Gmail, Slack, it's all over the place, and it's just remembering like, okay, who does what? Who are you? How are you guys doing this?
And I mean, that's so like on this project now, it sounds like I have to switch to Google Drive, which is fine. I'll sort it out. I did request if I can use Dropbox. I have Dropbox. And
Mhm.
technically, all the files I'm working on are already in Dropbox. So I'm like, it's easy for me just to share it, right, with them.
Yeah,
Um, whatever. If they don't want to use it, I won't use it. But then the other project I'm on is right now it's all emails. There's no, you know,
yeah.
so everything's being sent through emails. Communication on the project is done through emails, and I'm just like, all right, I
For
just
me
gotta.
personally, I kind of prefer that.
So she did this new art director did say I could send it through emails too. So I might just be like, that's what we're gonna do because then I have a document trail and I can keep track of it,
Yeah.
and it's guaranteed that they actually like Discord is nice, but the problem I was running into is sometimes they were missing my messages or they weren't
Mhm.
responding, and I was just like, hey, I'd like to move forward with the next. Honestly did not wait. I just moved to the next piece because I'm like, I have to finish 24 pieces, right?
Yeah, you're
Like
on a time crunch right now.
well,
Last we spoke.
I'd rather spend the last like month cleaning up whatever they want, and
Mhm.
knowing I've got 24 out there. See, Discord just did that weird thing again. It just switched us both.
Really? I
Yeah,
just muted
just
myself because I had a cough. Did it switch because of that?
I had no idea. Like in the middle of me,
Interesting.
it just went. It just I was on the left, you were on the right, and just switched us all of a sudden. So now every time I look over at the screen to talk to you, it looks like I'm talking to the wall.
Oh.
So I gotta look over here to talk to you now because you're over
Very
here.
weird.
you
Very
know.
weird.
Um, but so yeah, so that's been going on top of the fact that I was just coming off of Dragon Con and all these shows.
Mm. You have LuxCon coming up too, right?
I do, but before LuxCon, I got invited to this show
A
called
magic
Lotus Con.
show,
Yeah, it's called
right?
Lotus Con. It's a magic show. It's a magic.
Okay.
I think it's like they're hosting a bunch of tournaments, and then
LotusCon. Where's that located?
it's in
Local to you or
Bellevue, Illinois. I think it was. It's about 4 hours from me. It's right near St. Louis. Couple people
Bellevue?
have done it last year. Said it's kind of in a not so nice area. Yeah, look up I think it's Bellevue. Just look up Lotus Con. Lotus. That's not how you spell Lotus. Lotus
Oh,
Con.
I mean, if it's Bellevue, that's like a lot of.
Sorry,
Oh, it's right outside of Peoria.
It's Belleville, Illinois.
Oh,
Belleville. It's near St. Louis. I looked it up.
okay. So
So
yeah, Bellevue is right near Peoria, which I
yeah,
I actually know because I've been to
yeah.
Peoria quite a
I
few
keep
times.
mistaking the two. Bellevue is actually nice. Belleville, I don't know. I've never been there, but it's about 4.5 hours away. We
I don't think I've ever been to Belleville. I've been to St. Louis. I've been
I've
on
been to
like the
St.
Missouri
Louis,
side of St. Louis.
and St. Louis is one of I've been to St. Louis, and it's fine during the day. It's very touristy. You don't want to
Yeah.
be out there in the middle of the night. You're asking to get robbed.
I
Like
had a actually I don't know. I think I still have family that lives out there. like my
So
parents' cousins and all that, but
the first time I went to St. Louis, I we have my dad's two brothers were priests, right?
mm,
And they had a friend in a church out there in St. Louis. So they were like, we were basically like, hey, we're taking a family trip. You can come out here. You can stay in they had a house that's associated with the church. It was a big house, super fucking haunted. Like you know that
like
you know,
Amityville horror type.
well, it's an old church, so like God knows what's died in there before. But like when you see a house, sometimes you're just like, I don't really want to go into that house.
Mm,
And then my sister and I, they gave us a room that had like these single beds, like these twin beds, like next to each other. But it was just like this like giant room that may or may not have been a room where like little kids slept when it used to be like an orphanage or something. And
right.
it had like it was just so like dark. When it was dark in there, it was pitch black. And then like the bathroom is also big, like, and I was just like, everything about it felt like it was an old house, so it made like all sorts of creepy sounds in the middle of the night. Like sounds as a kid where you're like, what was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah,
What was
some
that sound?
spook shit.
Right? And then there was a caretaker who, when I first met him, I was like, he just looked like, like that old dude from like Pet Cemetery or something. Like he's just like there. He was just like there one day, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy? And he
Did you
ended
ever
up being
look out your window at some point and you saw him just
pretty
standing in
much,
the
right? Just like standing there, like staring. And like he ended up being the guy that took us around St. Louis. Like he took us to like the arch, and like he did all the touristy stuff with us. He was just like
Mm.
he's a local, so he knew all the spots. But so once we got to know him, we're like, he's actually pretty cool. But if you saw him initially, you're like, this guy's here to murder us, like.
You
But I
had your
remember,
own like Scooby Doo adventure.
I mean,
it
I
started
did.
off it started off scary. It turned out everyone was okay.
Yeah, I didn't even have a dog with me. Yeah, it was fine. Like my sister and I, like, I went exploring around the house just a little bit. I remember we found there was like a hidden. It wasn't really a hidden set of stairs. It was like a weird like set of stairs that went up to like other floors. And later on, I found out those were like the servants' stairs. Like
Mhm.
like they never want the servants to go around the front or in front of people, so they all had like their own secret entrances and stuff. So that's what that was. But initially, I was like, "Ooh, secret stairs. Probably shouldn't go up these." Um, but that guy was the one who said, "Hey, if you're not from around here, if you're not used to the city at night, you guys should not be like out in the city at night. It's you're just a target." My point is so we're going to this Belleville, Illinois. A couple of magic artists who have been to the show before are told. So Ben Hill is going to be there with me.
Okay.
Uh, and Andrew Thompson is the one who originally got invited. He invited me, and then the guy in charge asked if I knew other artists who wanted to come. So I mentioned Ben Hill.
So
Um,
at a magic event like this, do you guys table? Like, do you
so
have
this
your own
so so
booths and
this guy
stuff, or
said the
how's it
reason
set up?
we're getting our own tables. We didn't have to pay for them.
Okay.
So the guy said we're either gonna have one 8-foot table or two 8-foot tables. So, and then he, since I sell a lot of playmats will move at this event apparently. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'll bring. I don't think I'm gonna move any of my medals, and I don't think I'm gonna move any of my prints. I'll bring them with because you never know. But I'm the bulk of my
Weirder shit's happened. Yeah.
weirder shits happen, exactly, and the bulk of my stuff will be playmats because it's a gaming tournament. I feel like the playmats
Right.
will move, and the desk mats maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Do
But
you think your dice?
I mean, I'm gonna bring the dice with because I have I
Mhm.
literally only have I'm
Even
working
though
on
it's like a magic tournament, but
yeah.
maybe
You
it's
never
like
know.
adjacent, you know?
I'm gonna bring everything I've got just cause.
Mm.
And dice wise, honestly, I think I only have like 100 sets left because I'm working on a Kickstarter for a new set. I'm gonna make my own
Oh, right,
new,
right.
and I'm still talking to Chessex, trying to work a deal with those guys, see if they can. Um, I'm in talks with them. I spoke to the guy in charge of marketing at Dragon Con, and I
Mhm.
told him what I was looking for. He connected me to another guy who would be the guy to help me like maybe make the thing, which I don't want to talk about yet because I might kickstart it, and then we'll see, man. I've got so many, as you said, spinning plates.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do this show because usually I do Dragon Con and then go to IX, but then the fact that it's only 4 hours away, the booth is free
Well,
to me,
close-ish, yeah, and it's free. It's
close-ish,
why not?
and then the hotel room I'm splitting with the boys, so like my costs are real low. So I was like, if I can go make hopefully a couple grand in a weekend, why not? You know,
The
and,
fact it's local and it's a free table, like yeah, like you said, it's all pluses.
and the people running it have already reached out to me and asked me if I want to do some promo art for next year.
Oh, really? Okay, that's
So
cool.
I'm talking to him about it. I basically said I'm interested, but I can't take on any more work until I'm done with this big project in December.
Right.
Like I
This
just
is this is how you get into magic.
hope that would be
You just
awesome, right? That was the other
yeah,
thing. I
you
was like, you invited a bunch of magic artists in. I am not a magic artist yet, but he likes my
mm,
artwork a lot. He's like, I think this artwork's great. It will fly. You're fine. I'm like, okay. I feel like I'm gonna be the
yeah,
only guy
if
there who's
there's
like not working for magic.
you know what though? That's like get a groundswell of support.
I mean, my guess,
Like
my hope is
fans
some
are being
AD
like,
show
why
up,
isn't
right?
Alan Panacal in fucking Magic yet?
Right.
When are we getting
But
to the Alan Panacal factory?
it's like, come on, man, it's right there. Just give me a
Yeah.
shot. I mean, my hope is there's an art director or two there that I can actually talk to and be like,
There might be. I don't know who I don't know who attends these magic events outside of like
well,
artists
the boys just did
and
a show in
players.
Vegas, and there were two or three art directors from WotC there,
Oh, okay.
hanging out. But that's Vegas,
Right,
so
right.
this is
Bigger, yeah, bigger
Yeah,
thing.
Belleville, Illinois. I don't know what's going down over there. So,
Like
but I'm
we have a oh shit, what's the name of that? Cool Stuff Games. Have you heard of that gaming site?
cool stuff. Yeah, cool stuff. They used to be cool stuff mini, right?
They might have long ago, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know cool stuff
But
games.
yeah, so they're headquartered here.
I didn't know that.
Their main store is literally like 5 minutes out from my house. Like I
How
just
cool
pop
is that
down.
store?
It's not. I mean, it's about the same as any other store you've seen. Their
Okay.
thing is like so. Actually, this is the case for a lot of their stores. They used to have a smaller one that was near my best friend's house. At his old house, but now that location and him have both moved. That one was pretty fun. It was like your standard local, like local game store kind of thing. Their main store that you go into, it's this is what it was like. I went in expecting like, oh, because I like for me like with something like that, I like to go in and window shop, and
Right.
I'd be like, oh, like this looks cool. I'll pick this up, kind of thing, right? I'll tend to go in with an idea of something I want, and I'm like, if I see something else along the way that catches my eye, I'll take a look at it or catch it out.
Right.
Uh, one criticism, and I'm assuming this is just because they get enough people coming in and out. The one criticism I had is this store is not designed for that. You go in, uh, what it is a giant, basically the entire store itself, like that customers access is devoted like 98% to play area. There's
Oh,
just
like play their games.
y- yeah, just imagine like rows of folding tables,
Right. Right. Right.
right? And what you like so when I first went in there I was like I don't like where do I order? Like where do I shop?
Right.
And I noticed along two walls. I think there was also a third wall as well, but I remember distinctly like two walls, basically opposite ends of each other. There was banks of computers on both walls, and what you do is you go to one of those computers and go onto their site, and you order directly on their site to pick up. And then, as once you have that, you just walk over to the cashier and be like, "Hey, I placed the order to pick up,"
And
and then they
they
just go in the back and get it for you.
that's weird.
It's kind of wild. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
I mean, it's
Um,
an interesting way to do it, right? Because like if you go to Gen Con and you see their booth, it's like this huge booth of like you just described, just all their games you can play essentially.
yeah.
They don't have kiosks set
So,
up to purchase though.
oh, really?
I mean, you can buy the games right there. There's just rows of games.
Mm.
So
Gotcha.
they
Yeah,
made like
yeah.
Zombicide and stuff, right?
Oh no, this isn't a. This is not a. This is not a publisher. It's a.
Oh, that's the name of the
The,
store.
yeah, yeah. It's just a game store.
Oh, who am
Cool,
I
cool
thinking of?
stuff. Games. Here, wait.
I think I'm
Let me
thinking of
see.
Cool Mini or Not.
Oh, yeah.
Or
You might be.
who
Um,
makes Zombicide?
One second. Oh, Cool Stuff Incorporated. That's the thing. Here. This is the. This is the.
I'm thinking of Simon.
Ah. Okay, I gotcha.
What the hell does that
I
stand for?
gotcha.
I forget.
Cool Mini or not?
Oh, Cool Mini or Not. Yeah, yeah, I was right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. No, the link I just sent you, that is the game company. That is the game shop company that lives right near my house.
Let's see here.
But apparently they're a very like large online company.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was surprised. Like, oh wow, like they're
Oh,
like
I know
local
this
to me.
company.
Hmm.
Okay. This makes more sense. That is
Yeah.
an interesting way to set it up. What you
Most of they have like two or three other stores in the area, and those when I've gotten into them, those are more set up like how you expect your local hobby shop to be set up, where
see,
there's like a small
right.
play area, there's like a corner where there's some stuff. There's maybe
Right.
like another room where it's like board games only. Like the corner with like mini shit, like a back area where it's just board games, and then like a computer to order additional things. If they don't have it in the store, they can shuffle it around.
That reminds me. It sounds a little bit like one of my favorite stores to go to when I'm in Plano is called Madness Comics, and it used to be
Okay.
this small like comic book store, and it's every time I'd visit Texas I would go there, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's this huge, I mean it's ridiculously big. It's probably the biggest comic store I've seen in a while. But when you
Hmm.
walk in, now they've got it set up, it's mainly gaming. So like the front area is like the word you like to use a lot, tchotchkes. It's like a lot of little they actually got like the vending machines
Funko
where
Pops for days.
well, not
Gotcha,
Funko Pops
gotcha,
really.
man.
It's like when you go like Japan and stuff, they have like the vending machines where you get the little like toys in the like
Yeah,
little
gotcha
but
machines.
yeah, the gotcha machines exactly. So there's like full of those. There's a lot of small things, and then to the left is all the comic books, and
Okay.
then if you go past the comic books to the back behind them is all the Funko Pops and toys. To the
Mhm.
right is all these like rows of board games. Like you name it, they've got it, right? And it's all separated by like what type of board game it is. So it's like they do their
Okay.
best to be like these are adventure games, these are strategy games, blah blah blah. To the right of that is like you described, rows of folding tables. Like
As
it's like
far as the eye can see.
it's so like a lunchroom of folding tables, and in the back along the wall in that same area is all the Magic stuff. So it's like Magic cards, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh card games
Mm.
basically. And then if you go to the back wall from there, it's all tabletop games that involve like where you need the terrain. So like Warhammer,
Mhm.
X-wing, all that stuff. But
BattleTech, yeah,
BattleTech,
anything
all
like
that.
that.
And then just to the right of that, they have a whole section of so they have the toys over here, but then collectibles over here. And the collectibles are like the more expensive toys, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. But
Oh,
they're like
okay.
more like the statues and it's like I've never gone in that store and not bought anything because it's like there's just
Mhm.
so much in there, right? If you walked out of there without finding something you want, something's gone. You just don't like to have fun because
Right.
there's something there for everyone. But the one thing one element I think they do are missing is what this store has, which is there's no board games. There's really no board games sitting out to try. So like you're looking at you really have to
Really?
know the game you want to buy when you walk
Yeah.
in there, right? But they have
So that's what happened with me was this was when I was first getting into X-Wing miniatures. I bought like I think if I oh no. Oh yeah, yes. So I had already bought like the starter kit or whatever, the X-Wing miniatures. I played it a couple times. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I want to get like some extra miniatures or whatever. So I cajoled my friend to come with me. I was like, hey, let's go. I'm gonna go pick up some more miniatures, and then we can play like some more X-Wing when we get back to your house or whatever. He's like, sure, we could do that. And so we go there. I went to the store that day, not realizing that a Magic tournament was going on.
oh god. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
The
happened to me.
amount of bodies in that room
Yeah.
was stifling. Like literally, like I could feel the air was just packed.
How did it smell in there? Yeah,
About kind of what, yeah, just like that.
yeah.
Not even like, to be honest, not even nothing worse than what I've smelled at like cons necessarily.
Right, right.
It's it was about
It's just
that.
not moving. It's just sitting in one spot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it's just, it's like that quote from The Matrix, like that Agent Smith says. He's like it's the smell, if you if there is such a thing.
Yeah, yeah. The stench. That's like
The
I saw the room where so this year I didn't go check it out, but last year I saw the room where, every year Steve Argyle, Howard Lyon,
Mhm.
um I think whoever else wants to join him, I think it was Aaron Miller and Tyler Walpole. They all do like a still life. They draw a live model painting of some magic character. They usually have like a cosplayer or a person dressed up as a character, and they all paint. And I don't know if they donate it to charity. I think they donate the painting to the Gen Con charity auction or
Gotcha.
whatever. So I got to see I got to go to the back room and hang with everybody, just chilling. But I had to walk through that sea of people playing Magic, uh, and it was a room I never realized existed because I would
Yeah.
not go back there. And it was that stifling feeling. Where I'm just like, there's too many bodies in here. And we
Yeah,
sat
it's
in
like
this.
you breathe it in, like this smells like a fire marshal violation.
Well, I was like, I'm gonna have to take several showers when I get out of here. Um, but we sat in this like corner, so they have like a designated spot set up in the corner there. I think I lasted while I was in the back room while they were eating dinner. I was fine, and I was with Jason Engel, and him and I were and we were like, we're not staying. We're gonna go to dinner. Like Jason never does it. Apparently, he's like, I'm gonna go to dinner. I ain't got time for this. But we hung out for a little bit, and then when we were leaving, I saw the room where they set up, and I was like, no, I remember playing those games when I was in high school and college when I was first getting into Magic. I used to go to tournaments and sit in the rows of. It's gotten way more advanced now, but um, just going to like a comic book store and playing, I was like, I don't like that feeling. It's some people take that too seriously. I think so. Um,
That's what I've heard. I've never played a board game or anything like that competitively.
right,
I just never had an interest to. Like
but I
that
mean,
that
like,
whole vibe just does not appeal to me at all. Like
yeah.
and but I have heard that kind of thing. Like some people do just take it way too seriously. I'm like, yeah, I don't
I
want
mean, now
that.
they have like Commander and stuff, and like Joe Zaya has gotten me back into it a little bit because he got me a Commander deck when we were at Gen Con, and then
Mhm.
my buddy Jake, who owns several hobby shops and stuff, I've known him for a while. Him and I were talking San Diego, and then he's buys a lot of my play mats that he sells in his stores. So I got some commander decks from. I got like a sliver deck, and everyone's like, nobody likes slivers. They're gonna be pissed at you if you play this. But then other people are like, just play your deck and have fun, man. Who cares
I
what
was
people
gonna
think?
say, is it valid? Of course. In that case,
Oh,
go ahead and
it's
play it.
totally valid. But I was like, I
Oh,
don't plan on playing in a tournament. I just plan on like playing with my friends, right? So I'm like, if you guys have a problem with it, then it's gonna be no fun. But
yeah.
I've always liked slivers, but I understand that they're like OP. Um,
You know what? That's kind of like, okay, that's kind of like in fighting game tournaments, where people complain, or like ranked matches or whatever, where people complain about like button spams,
yeah, yeah.
where someone's just like constant does like a leg sweep or whatever. It's like, sure, you can complain about it, but
I
the
beat
game
you.
lets me. Yeah,
Yeah,
the game lets me.
the
So if the
game.
game's letting me, I will use it.
Right.
If you don't want me to use it, beat me,
I
and
mean, I
and
mean, at
I'll
Gen
stop
Con,
using it.
I mean, I still remember at Gen Con, Ben and Joe were playing a commander match together, and Ben did some wild trick with his cards. I don't remember exactly what the move was, but I just
Mhm.
remember Joe's reaction was like, "That's not how you use that card," and Ben's like, "Well, that's how I'm using it." And what he
Yeah,
actually did was he took away some like most commander decks have like this one key card apparently like you needed to make the rest of it work, and there was a card in Joe's deck that he needed for it to do what it's supposed to do, and Ben got rid of that card. And I was just like, and you know, I couldn't, you know, the room, the vibe in the whole room shifted when that happened, right? It went from them joking and hanging out to like Joe looked like, you know, he's a big time player. He takes it seriously, but I think he had a moment in his head where he had to be like, "That's my friend," you know, like because I was just like, I don't know what's
Like
happening here. Are you
scale it
about to?
back.
Yeah, I was like, are you about to lose it? Because I don't want to be. Because I was also like vibing and eating a chocolate cookie and just having a good time. You know, I
Right.
was like, please, please don't be upset about that. You know, like, um, and you know, my friends and I, when we used to play in like high school and college, just before Commander even existed in our head, or I don't know if it even
When
existed in real
did
life.
Commander come out? I
Let's
have
I,
zero inkling of Magic the Gathering outside of
let's
like
find
a
out.
handful of card packs I picked up when I was like much younger. Like I think I have some from like the era of like Gay
Yeah,
playing.
96. So I was in high school,
Oh, when they
but
introduced Commander. Okay.
I didn't know anything about it. My friends and I used to play like we would make like the wildest decks. Like, you know, you'd be like I remember my friend Rick once made an all enchantment deck. So there was like no creatures in there to kill. It was literally all enchantments. It
So it's
was
like all spells then,
yeah,
I
it's just
guess.
spells and he had I think he has a couple artifacts and then he had this thing called I want to say it was called Urza's weapon. Like it was like an airship that could destroy any permanent on the board. And he
Huh.
would just like wipe out things. And I remember in the middle of the match, it was four of us playing. Like he had to take each other out. In the middle of the match, I was like, "Holy crap! It's an all enchantment deck." I'm like, take him out, take him out. Like he's the strongest player. And my friends came at me, and I remember looking at him going, "I'm probably the second strongest player in this game. Take him out first."
Oh
And they
my
took me
goodness.
out, and I was like, "Well, you guys are both gonna lose. You know, like you don't stand a chance now." But like we used to make decks like you know, I had a deck that was like I would take life from you and gain life for myself. That was it was designed to do that. That was like the main,
Mm.
you know, like I had a Wrath of God that and then I'd bring out a Blinding Angel so you couldn't attack. Like so you know, there's a little like fun thought processes
That's
happening.
that's some cosmic encounter type shit
Yeah.
that I enjoy where it's just game breaking enough.
Yeah. And now it's like Commander's like different because when you play those games back in the day, you know, we'd have you know maybe four blinding angels in the deck, right? And you
Right.
killed one. I at least knew I had three more coming in play. But with Commander, you can only have one of every card, and the minimum is 100.
Is that I guess is that the thing yeah, I guess you have
I
this with
think you
any kind of
can't go over
competitive
100. I
game
might be
where
wrong.
I was gonna say, is this like the thing with like any kind of like any kind of tournament game or any kind of competitive game where the meta of it changes and evolves the game to the point where something that was like maybe cool or initially viable originally is now like no, it's now been like basically forced out entirely, either officially or unofficially, kind of
No,
deal.
I mean the way I described the way we used to play. I think people still play it that way, but it's not it's like home just for house rules and home brews, right, or whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Just
In that case, yeah, I would say like yeah, the meta itself, like in terms of like how tournaments and all that work, like has forced it out
yeah. So
as
I
a
don't
thing
think they
that's
do
like
tournaments
commonly
anymore
played.
with the. I think now, well, I guess if you did like a what do they call that?
Would it be
You
like an anything goes kind of deal?
well, no, I think if you do like where you open the boosters and I forget what they call that.
Oh, is that like you
Drafting
open it?
where you
Oh,
do the
okay. So then
draft.
you have to field the cards that you pull out of the booster right then and
So
there.
you pull out a booster. Yeah, how I think they call it like round robin, where you pull out the card, you take one card you want, pass the next rest of them on, and it goes around, right? And the other player's cards will come to you. I did a round robin draft pick thing one time at a friend's house, and I was having fun till I found out one of the players, one of his friends, was a tournament level player. He didn't tell us he won the whole thing, and then he tells us he plays tournaments, and then he shows us this spreadsheet that he had memorized of which cards were the best cards in that. It was a box set we all opened, right? So he knew
Man,
exactly what to build, right? And the rest of us were fresh. We didn't know anything about that set,
right,
right?
right.
So I was just like, well, that's bullshit. I'm like, you won because you knew exactly how to which deck to build. And he was like, I just did my homework. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't under the
Did your
impression.
homework on a game.
I was just like, you're a pro level player. Why are you playing with us? We're literally average players, you know? And
Yeah.
so I refused to play any games with this dude after that. I was like, fuck him. You know, like it
My
irked me to
gosh.
no end. It bugged me for like weeks, man. And
Yeah,
you know,
that would bug the hell out of me. Cause yeah,
it's
it is
just
like, what are you doing? Like,
like, what are you
we're all
doing?
here having fun. You're coming in just basically. It's the equivalent of me walking into a room of 4-year-olds and just going like that,
Smack.
smacking them
Yeah.
all down.
It's like, trying to race the guy with the broken leg and then winning, and
Yeah.
celebrating. Which is basically he was like so cocky about it too. Like somehow he just and I was just like, if there was money on the line, I would have been even more pissed. But luckily it was
Yeah.
just for funsies, right? Just friends playing. Um I forgot how we got to the magic talk, but like
Well,
I said,
we're talking about like upcoming plans and stuff. Like, so you have the magic,
oh
you have the Lotus Con, and then you have the LuxCon
so,
after that.
so the thing that's happened is because of the Lotus Con, because of Josiah and I talking magic, because I watched these boys play Commander, I got the itch back a little bit, which is
Mm.
I played a lot of Magic in high school and college. Like I played all the way until I started art school, and then there was a level of focus required in art school that college that I could not set aside.
Right.
It's money. I didn't have enough money left at this point, and time. So I did it for years. There's just boxes of Magic cards sitting in my closet here that
I distinctly remember when I had that switch flick
yeah,
on me,
yeah.
which actually, come to think of it,
Bless you.
excuse me. I know actually that might have been like sophomore year. 'Cause it was at some point when I was living in the apartment. I can't remember if that was sophomore or junior year, but my so one of my roommates, he was in the film department, and the thing with like the film department is they had a lot of like downtime
Hmm.
for a lot of things. They would have like basically like a very crunched portion of like, oh, we got to get this shit done, and it's like when it's during that stage, it's like it's like it's neck breaking. It's back to back to back to back to back of stuff to go on.
Right.
But then for the majority of the year, it's a lot of like downtime because it's just like planning out shots. At least for like for at that year when he was doing it, it was a lot of like planning out shots, writing your whatever your screenplay is or whatever. It wasn't a lot of like active stuff. It was kind of like passive creativity things. But that meant like he also had a lot of downtime for video games and stuff. And I remember like he picked up Final Fantasy which was it? 12. And I was watching him play through. I was like, "Oh, like man, this looks pretty good. I maybe I should pick it up." And
Hmm.
I remember asking my family for that Final Fantasy game that Christmas. I got it, and I played about like 20 minutes of it. This was like a week before winter break was over and like
Sure.
the next semester of schools start. I got about 20 minutes into it, and then I just had the thought of like I was faced with like just how much crap there was going to be in this RPG that I would have to do. And I thought to myself, like, I'm never gonna have any fucking time right now to do this. And I shut it
Right.
off, and I hadn't played a Final Fantasy game since. But
Damn,
like
that's impressive.
it kind of worked out. Like it was the smart move because it did turn out that semester I was very very busy. And
Yeah.
if I got sucked into a video game, like especially a video game of like that length and breadth, I would have been like shit
I
out of
mean,
luck.
I'm so jealous of my friends who, the group of friends I play video games with. We used to play like every night, if not every other night. And, I see these guys playing every night. They all log in at like now. I get a message from Xbox or whatever saying they're logging in. And they'll play for till like midnight, and I'm just like,
Oh man.
I can't. Like,
Yeah, that's like
I want to.
it's I want to, and there's RPG games I want to play. Like I still want to play The Witcher 3. I've
That
never
game
gotten
is
around to it.
so freaking long. I did.
That's
I
that's the
felt like
thing.
I played for what felt like a good. When I looked at the percentage of how far I've gotten, I thought it would say at least like 51% or 53%. It
Yeah.
said like 27%. And I was just like, I'm out. It's
Yeah.
just fast.
And, and at least like with games like that, and I cough again. So, yeah, with games like that, like I always have trouble like stopping it in the middle of a quest
Mm-hmm.
kind of deal because then I know like if I pick it up later or whatever, I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
Right.
I may open it back and be like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Why are
Well,
we chasing
that's
this
what happened with
baby?"
that. Yep. Why is this baby trying to kill me?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. So like I've always been drawn to either games that are shorter or like have shorter loops, like gameplay loops, where it's kind of like a Stardew Valley kind of thing, or like a Harvest
sure.
Moon, where it's like you know what that block of time is, and like that's like 30 minutes or so. And it's like you could do that. That is the game day, and you could say like, cool, that's all I was
Right.
gonna do. I'm gonna stop that, go off and do this thing. Or I also play a lot of you know this of me, like I play a lot of like city building type games.
Yeah, I'm
And
not good at
that's
those.
well, the thing I like about those is they apparently tickle some part of my brain that really likes that weird thing
It's
of it.
that, what do they call this? Resource management.
Yeah, yeah. Like I for some reason I
I
really like that,
suck
even
at
though I'm
those.
terrible with that in real life.
Yeah,
But I
it's
love that
like,
in the
why am I
game.
so good at? You know who really likes those type of games is Tawny.
Really.
She's really good
I'll have
at
to
them too, man.
talk
Like,
to her about it.
she plays this game called, I want to say it's called Oxygen Not Included.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
These
I've
people are
heard
like
her
living
talk about that.
underground. I looked at that and I was like, nope, I'm gonna screw this up somehow. And then I tried playing Valheim with. She made it as easy. I think I've said this before. She made it so freaking easy for me to play Valheim. I literally went to the village that they built. It's like a giant town of sorts. It was
Mhm.
her and I think it was Crystal and Sam, her husband Sam, and Trevor, Crystal's husband, and they had everything you needed. They were like, "Here's a spot you can build on, right here in this
Yeah.
corner. All the resources you need are in this building: wood, steel, tools, food."
That's like an MMO kind, like similar to like Arc, right?
I think so. And they built out, and there's monsters and stuff that attack you, or you can go on the hunt. But
Hmm.
all I had to do was build a house and then just chill with them. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like it just felt like I don't want to build anything in real life. I don't want to build things here in this video game either.
That's
Like
fair.
I love playing Destiny, and I'm one of the few people with my friends group who doesn't. They have this thing where you can craft a weapon, like you can make it better. You can like
Oh,
craft it to
okay.
make it better. And I never visit this freaking thing. I think the first time I went there and tried to do it, I was like, I hate everything that I just had to do to
Hmm.
build something new. I'd rather just play the game, and that's why I like um, I just like games where I don't have to do that much work. I guess is what it comes down to. I want to have like I'm gonna keep talking about Sea of Stars because as an RPG, it's fucking amazing and it's fun.
Yeah, you've been
It's
playing that?
I have that's if there's a game I'm playing, that's what I've been playing. Just
Mm.
pockets. It's one of those games so I can save wherever I'm at, so I don't have to
Yeah.
like find a save point, which I enjoy. Um, and then there's another game that Eli had recommended back in the day called oh Story of O or hold on.
Jory
Where's
of
my
O.
sword?
That sounds somewhat familiar.
Sword. I think it's called
Huh.
Sword. Sword of O. It's also on Switch. You're literally just like a kid training to be a warrior
Or is it
and
sort of Ditto?
sort of ditto. That's it.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The only reason I remember that is because like my 4-year-old just she oh my god,
It's not a
she
hard game.
no, but she started her own like profile on the Switch. Like
Yeah,
she realized she was like, "Oh, I don't have my name on here." So she's like, "I know, I'm gonna put my name in because she knows what her name is."
sure.
So she typed it in, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna start up Sorta Ditto." Like
See,
she's been playing a lot of Zelda, um, and she decided like she
that's
wanted to play
exactly what
Sorta
it's
Ditto.
like.
Yeah.
It's like Zelda, but it's not like so overly complicated that you're like, I don't know what's happening. But
Mhm.
it's like I don't know how to describe those kind of games. They're like I think they have like an 80s like the 8-bit nostalgia for me.
It's like what's the term? It's like an action. Well, I guess it's like action hack and slash
Right.
is
But
what the
except the
general
way
term for
the
that
way it
is.
looks, the way it plays, it's like it it's stupid easy to a degree, and you're just like having fun with it, right?
Yeah.
So I like games like that. Witcher, on the other hand, like I had to like kill a demon baby at one point last time I played that game, and a bunch of wraiths or something showed up to kill me. It took me forever to beat these things, and then I talked to my one friend Seth, and he's like, "Oh, what you should have done was this spell to protect yourself, and then blah blah." Whereas I did a trap spell to hold him at bay. While I was like, I did it my way apparently, which was harder and longer.
Yeah, that's kind of intrigued me about like if that game came out during high school, I would have been all over that game because I liked the idea of that game where it's like you have to kind of know going into like a monster fight like what affects the monster, plan
Yes,
out your attack and everything. It's like okay, I like that aspect of it. As an adult, I'm like, oh, I don't have time for this.
right.
So
Well, I
I
was
would
thinking to
love to do
myself,
that, but I
like,
just don't have the time.
the thing that I guess as you get older, yeah, we don't have the time because I think about like how much time I spent playing Metal Gear on PlayStation. Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid, right?
Yeah.
Freaking sneaking around, trying not to get caught, figuring out all the little tricks on how to beat the enemies, building out all the weapons, figuring out you have to take pills for your adrenaline when you're trying to snipe, all the little things like that, right?
You know what's crazy is so I actually I watched a let's play of the third one of that recently. Um,
Snake Eater,
just yeah, Snake Eater. Just like
yeah.
while I was I've been working like so I just had a let's play on in the background and stuff. And yeah, no, that game's actually much shorter than I remember.
Yep.
Like
Those
I was
games,
surprised how quickly they got through it. I was like, oh, okay. And this isn't they weren't going in it with like a laser guided focus. It was because they were like it was two of them chatting and then they're also chatting with the chat and everything as well.
right?
There's a lot of like fucking around where they're like, oh, okay, what do I got to do now and stuff and that kind of thing. But
What
yeah,
I
no, I was actually surprised how quickly that game goes, especially compared to like a lot of modern day games which seem like really really long.
they're like, well, I mean, the thing that always boggled my mind with Metal Gear was like the people that finished Metal Gear Solid without getting seen once.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I have no
I was
idea
like,
how.
how, man? Like, but those games, I don't know, man. I think like I had the patience and time for those games, and now I'm just like I made them. I don't want to say a mistake because I don't think it's a mistake. I downloaded it and I installed it because in my head I thought it helped with some inspiration, which is Starfield. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not a bad looking game. It's got some cool concepts.
Yeah.
I think it'll be more fun once I get to a phase of building my own ship and exploring the galaxies a little bit more. Right now,
Mhm.
I'm in the very beginning stages of this, and yeah, it's got the glitches. Welcome to
Welcome to a Bethesda game.
yeah, Bethesda game, and like my friend said,
I
he's not
actually
gonna
heard
play till
this
it.
was by far the least glitchy
Yes,
game
I would go. I
compared
would agree
to
with that.
yeah.
I mean, my friend said he's gonna like. My one friend said I'm gonna install it once they get through the first patch and
That's
send
fair.
updates, which makes sense. I
Yeah.
got it for free on Game Pass. I installed it last week, and I'm just like, let's try this out, And so far, I'm having a good time. But again, I want to play games like that. I want to play games that are like gonna just get my. I want games that are gonna make me like come up with ideas. If that makes
Mhm.
sense, right? Not saying like sort of Dido isn't giving me any ideas, but Sea of Stars is giving me a ton of cool things that I might want to.
Visual things that you can kind of bookmark for later.
Yeah, well, they've given me some ideas where I'm like, huh, I wonder if I had a character like this in my world, what would they be like? Because I have,
Right, right.
like there's a pirate that I'm meeting here, and I have a pirate in my book, but I don't have I kind of have an idea what she's like or they're like, but I don't have a hundred
Mhm.
percent idea of like what does this character entail, right? It started out as a cool character concept sketch I did, but not really like a story for them. So, I don't know. I think nowadays when you watch a movie or play a game, in my head I'm always like, I need this to give help me like sometimes it's just relaxing, but most time I'm like, is this going to motivate me to write more or draw more or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on a not so much a game kick lately, just going back to that thing, it's a time sink. It's a giant time sink unless
Yeah.
it's a smaller bite or whatever. But I've been doing I've been trying to go through and like watch movies I have never watched before,
Hmm.
that I've been meaning to for a very, very long time. And mainly because like A, I want to see them. I've been meaning to see them, but then also B, a lot of the ones I'm working through have either really good story or they have really good compositions to the like the actual like film and how things are set up within the film. That I'm like, oh, that's actually like really, really interesting kind of deal. Like right now I'm watching Ron by Kira Kurosawa. It's
Okay.
his
Yeah.
it's his film from 1984. It's based on King Lear,
Ron.
roughly. Yeah, RAN. It's on Prime. It leaves Prime in like 5 days. Just if you want to
Oh,
get in.
okay. R.A.N. But it's the same guy that did Seven Samurai, right?
Hmm.
Yep.
Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood.
Yep.
There's a few other ones. Those are there's another one that is always the other one that's quoted with Seven Samurai for Star Wars. Hidden Fortress.
Hidden Fortress. Yeah, that's the one. Is that on
Yeah.
Prime? I'll have to look it up.
That one I don't know. It's weird. Some of them are on HBO.
So I just
I refuse to call it just Max. It's on HBO. Um,
I don't
it's
get,
like
yeah, that's a whole thing.
it's part of their like they have a partnership with Criterion through
Hmm.
that. So some of the movies are on there, and then some of them are elsewhere. It's you know how it is with streaming. It's
It's
there's
all
always
over the
like
place. Yeah,
change.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all changing licenses and whatnot. So it's like you have to hunt it down and
Right.
figure out where it is.
That's like that
I
show I
was
told you
actually
about, man. Mr. In Between. It's gone now
Mhm.
from Hulu. So
Fucking don't understand.
it was a
Don't
good show.
understand.
I mean, I watched. So I made. No, I made the mistake of watching the Flash movie,
Oh yeah,
which
we did too. Well, we didn't
I
make the
didn't.
mistake of it.
I was like, okay, I want to watch this because some people said it's good, some people said it's bad, right? So I'm like, all right. And I like Michael Keaton, so I was just like, I want to see the Batman stuff, right?
Mhm.
And I found that like some characters you're like, I can take them in small doses in a movie. In this case,
You
Ezra
can't take it.
Miller's.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
could take him in the small doses in the Justice League movie because he's just there. But a whole fucking movie about him annoyed me to no end. And then
That
they
was yeah.
the main character already annoyed me. And if anyone hasn't seen this movie, spoilers. When you meet his alternate version of him, that version of him annoyed me more. And
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't think this was possible, but it's fucking happening right now. Like
That was like after we finished watching it, my wife and I were talking about it, and like yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the worst movie
it's not the
ever.
worst.
It's definitely not the worst WB movie. I've seen worse DC movies
Yeah,
from that.
yeah,
Um, it is, however, at least to me, it is aggressively boring, and it's aggressively boring to the point where other little things in the movie that normally I would not care about started to really like irk me.
right.
Um, or like I would just be like, oh, like let's keep a running tally of this. Like one thing like my wife and I were trying to figure out or like playing the game of is like, okay, when is it 72-year-old Batman, like Michael Keaton? When is it him actually walking around? And then when is it a stunt guy? And when is it a CG double? Because there is a
Is Michael Keaton
noticeable.
really 72 years old?
Yes, he is.
I
He's a
did
really
not know
good
that.
looking 72-year-old,
Yeah,
but
he is.
he is 72 years old. And a 72-year-old person walks a certain way and carries himself a certain way compared to someone that's a stunt actor or a
Oh yeah,
CG double.
sure, sure.
And like, yeah, it's that noticeable thing where you're like, they can't move like that at that age.
Right. No, I mean like the Michael Keaton stuff. I was like, okay, all right, I'm in. This is
He
fine.
was clearly that was this is a frustrating thing for me because like this is something again like my wife and I always talk about is like he should have been in a Batman Beyond movie.
He still can
And
be in a Batman Beyond movie.
he, oh, well, I've got the hammer to drop for that in a moment.
Okay.
Like my wife maintains he should have been in a Batman Beyond movie and Robert Pattinson should have been Terry McGinnis for it. And she's like, I don't care what anyone says. That should have been the thing to do. And they should have done it like decades. They should have done it like a decade ago at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Just done the Batman Beyond movie and would have been good. There apparently, this is a really frustrating factoid I found out afterwards. It just made me like angry at the movie even more was they were planning a Batman Beyond movie
Okay.
with Michael Keaton in it, but it was dependent on how well The Flash did.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So then I was like, well, Christ, if you're hanging it on that, like, just do the Batman Beyond movie because I guarantee you, more people want to see that than this movie.
I think, yeah, well, I mean, I think before Miller fucked it all up, people were very, very much ready to watch Flash. I was trying to find a
I
clip of
wonder, you realize like this movie's been in development hell since
forever.
yeah, like at least a decade, I think at this point, like since 2010, I think something like that.
Yeah. And then,
They wanted to have it like they wanted to develop this thing and it's been like through so many people, so many rewrites,
I
just
mean,
could not get off the
it
ground.
started out like it felt like they were trying to do the Flashpoint storyline, which is, I think, where they kind of took it. But then it got
Yeah,
weird.
that's exactly what it was. It was like the Flashpoint story. It wasn't like his Iris West thing. They put his
So
mom
that's
in
the other
place of
thing.
that.
They showed in the trailers. They showed him saving Iris West, from a car that's flipping. That's never in the movie.
She's in like the very beginning and then she's at the very end and that's it. Bye.
And then I could have sworn, as I was trying to watch real quick, I could have sworn in the trailers there was a yellow flash and a red flash, but I was probably wrong.
Yeah, no, it's weird because like his alternate self I don't fucking care about spoilers on this. His alternate self I think is supposed to be Reverse Flash,
It's supposed to be reverse flash. Exactly. I'm pretty
but it's not
sure.
the fun Reverse Flash. It's not the Reverse Flash is like I want to go back in time and kill your mom and adopt you to make your life a living hell. Reverse
Right.
Flash.
It's not the. That's what I think that the WB series got right, was they did a really good job making Reverse Flash super bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I heard he was very, very fun. Um, but yeah, no, there was other like little things in that movie that annoyed me. Just like storytelling stuff. Like another thing that jumped out at us was okay. So initially there's that baby saving scene,
yeah.
right?
Oh my god. What a
Which is
horribly CG scene.
it's yeah, it's not very visually. It doesn't look great, and then it's kind of comical just the whole act. But then later on in the movie, he mentions to Alternate Barry, he's like, you can't move a person at super speed. Cause it's like
Because it'll
he's like even
explode.
yeah, he was like even like a little bit is gonna like fuck them up. And they're like, oh, okay, got it. And they reiterate that point later on, like when
When he
he
throws
moved like
up.
alternate Barry just moves Barry like 5 feet or like 10 feet over.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just moved you a little. And then like Barry starts like vomiting uncontrollably. And as soon as that happened, my brain like pinged. And I went, well,
Right.
wait a second. I saw you earlier like pinwheeling babies and
Yeah.
putting the baby inside a microwave. Those babies are fucking dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute. I guarantee you we can look up a Reddit forum that will help us make sense of that.
No. The movie, it's not explained in the movie. That I
I mean,
refuse to take
no,
someone
they
to
don't
be like,
explain in
oh
the
yeah,
movie.
after the fact.
I just mean somebody probably has an explanation for why
Yeah.
what's happening, because there were things, it was little things like that, like the scene where Batman first lands, he throws up his cape, so all the bullets ricochet off his cape. You see him pull out a batarang, one
Mhm.
batarang, and then you see him turn around. He whips four of them while people are just firing bullets at him. Still, I'm like,
Yeah.
are any of those bullets gonna land? What's
Oh,
happening here?
that was something that actually bugged my wife. She did not like how and again, this is like a thing in a movie that is more engaging, none of this would cross your mind. Or if it did, like you wouldn't care. Like it wouldn't
Right.
really enter your like sphere of being like, "Hey, wait a second." But like it's the fact we were just kind of sitting there where just like whatever, this is like let's just get through this.
Let's just get through this. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Like
the
she
worst
didn't
feeling to
like
have when you watch a movie.
exactly. She was like she didn't like how thin his cape looked. especially considering it's supposed to be like bulletproof. She was like, that seems like it should be a thicker cape, considering
It
he's
looked
using it to
different.
fly and ricochet.
This is true. It looked like I wanted
It did look different than the 1980. Did it look different than 1989 one to you?
the 1989 ones had like a dusty, rubbery, kind of like a tire look to it, right?
Yeah, yeah, it had like a vinyl look to it, and this one looked more like a cheap
This
Halloween
one,
costume.
yeah, this one just looks shiny. The one in the 1989 films wasn't really shiny because
Mhm.
it's supposed to be like Kevlar, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Um, and this one was just like this weird. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, why is it so shimmery?"
yeah.
Whatever. We can nitpick this all day, but
Oh no,
also
yeah.
I
And
also
again,
thought
it's
that
like
those two characters didn't get enough screen time, like Keaton's character, and then I guess they were calling her Supergirl.
Supergirl.
And
Yeah,
like, I was excited to see a Supergirl character in the movie, except
yeah.
I think she had an
Underutilized the two of them.
yeah, 20. I think they each had maybe 20 minutes of screen time tops, and
Hmm.
I was just like, that's it. I thought that Batwing was
Nope.
cool though, the way it would rotate, but the cockpit didn't move. I was
I
like,
did laugh. I laughed when like Michael Keaton, he's stationary in it, but like every like the berries like they're getting flipped around. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that is definitely a Batman thing to just be like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care about anyone else.
yeah,
I'm protected.
I'm good to go. You guys are in trouble. Yeah, I don't know. I
One
mean,
one interesting, if you ever want to go back and watch it, which I don't blame you if you don't, but here's an interesting thing. The alternate Barry, I think throughout the entirety of the movie, except for like occasional shots where it's just him in the frame and not the other Barry,
hmm,
the alternate Barry is 100% digital.
really?
Yeah, it's not even like a Compton thing where it's just Ezra Miller playing both those roles and they have him in different makeup or whatever. That Barry is, unless it's like a singular shot of him where there's no one else around. If he's in any scene with Barry, he's 100% digital recreation.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Which so then it's like, I guess you guys spent like your entire VFX budget on him because all the other shots do not look as
They
good as
do not
him.
look good.
He
Even
looked
like,
flawless.
I mean, he looked flawless. Is exactly what I say. Like, because the actor who playing Zod, the
Michael Shannon,
actress
yeah.
who was his like second lieutenant, they just looked
Mhm.
old. I'm just like, you couldn't spend a little extra money on CG and make these people look younger. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I understand Keaton not needing to be look younger, but those
Or even
two are
do something better than the like what one thing that was baffling me was the like, what is it called? The Chronodome? When he's like when he's multiverse breaking, when
oh
he's
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
breaking up the timeline and shit.
That thing was weird.
What was weird about that was, and like I do know that like VFX artists that have worked on the movie said like if it looks like it was done in a week, that's probably because it was. We were really under budget. We were really under like time pressure on this thing.
Like you could
But
see it in the faces of the different.
that was the thing, is like you guys have like high fidelity scans of these guys and they look like
Right.
PS2 rendered graphics.
They look like video game characters, right? Like you've seen
Yeah.
like Mortal Kombat or something. You're like, I had to like push aside that feeling of like this is bad. Just be like, all right, I guess this is how he's seeing the world
Yeah.
here. I really do feel like I'm going to go read Flashpoint again though, just because I want to. I need to remember some of that story to be like, this is what they took out. Like because I remember the comic books being, from what I can remember from it, I remember enjoying Flashpoint a lot.
I
But
think they just took like the really broad strokes of it from
yes,
what I recall.
that's the problem with doing any kind of movie with time travel. You always have to you have to be very precise, or you're gonna screw it all up, right? Uh, Even to the
Yeah.
audience, right? Like I don't know. I don't know if any movie's ever gotten it perfect. Maybe like what's the Nolan film?
Well,
Like
it's like
Interstellar. I thought got it pretty close. Like it's his future self talking to his past self.
Mhm.
Like
You
I'm
know
just
what
like
it is?
sure,
It's the Back to the Future thing. If the movie's good and engaging, you don't care about like you won't
right,
care about the tiny bullshit of that. It's like
right.
you'll just be like, yeah, I'm along for the ride. This is great. And then maybe on like your 10th or 30th rewatch, you'll be like, Yeah, that is kind of weird. Like Steven Spielberg famously does not care about continuity at all, right? So
Yeah,
that's
that's
why
a
you
given.
have in Jurassic Park T-Rex that comes out of the paddock, and then not more than like 5 minutes later, that paddock has like a 30 or 40 foot drop, and you're like, wait,
How did he get out
which
of there? Right.
exactly, which like on your first watch of that, or even like your second or third watch, you're not going to notice that or care.
Yeah, because
And
it's such an intense scene.
yeah, it's totally yeah. Again, it's one of those things like you just don't think about right at the moment because you're engaged with it, so you're like, I don't care. But like with something like the Flash, where it's like, you're just kind of watching it, you're like, I don't care enough about like even barring like all of Ezra Miller's stuff, their character, it's like you said, like you could take him in, you could take Barry in small doses in like Justice League and stuff, but him as the main character, he's not engaging enough.
I mean, the whole sequence where the other alternate version of him got superpowers,
Mhm.
and he's like running around the city, phasing to the floor, and all that. I was ready to stop the movie right there. I'm like, this guy's annoying me so much right
Yeah.
now. Like I was just like, I can't watch this. And then I was just sitting there, just like, why did I waste time watching this movie? I wish I'd watched anything else. Like I only had, and I watched it in two sessions, right? I watched an hour and then another hour. I didn't watch it all at one go because it
Oh
just
man.
wasn't my jam. Um, but
Well,
if you want,
you know what else is on HBO is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1972 version.
oh my god, with the dog that shows up, is it with
Dog. No, no.
With Sutherland?
Donald Sutherland, yeah.
You don't remember the dog with the human face?
Oh yes, no, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah,
That
yeah,
thing
because
gave
the
me
hobo and the dog.
nightmares as a kid, man. Like that's the only thing I fucking remember from that movie, and the way they point and scream.
Yeah, the dog thing is compelling.
The
Do you
dog
know
thing
who
scared me.
I when I first watched it, I didn't realize that at the time, but like when I rewatched it recently, I did not realize that Jeff Goldblum and Leonard Nimoy are in it.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I don't remember that
Yeah.
at all.
And they're in it for a significant amount of it. It's not even just like a quick cameo. Like Jeff Goldblum has like he's
Really?
one of the supporting actors. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't remember that. I mean, I still remember Jeff Goldblum from The Fly.
Yeah. No, he's in Invasion of the Body Snatchers like a substantial amount of it.
Okay,
Same with Spock, surprisingly, which I was like it
you
took
know
me a
what?
moment. I was like, is that Spock? And I was like, oh my god, it is.
He did other movies. What I want to really see is the new Godzilla minus, what's it called?
Minus one
Minus zero.
or minus zero, right? Yeah, it looks
It
good. It looks
looks
really
like
good.
the original. Like this is what Godzilla would show up and do. Like
Mhm.
he wouldn't just be like, "I'm here to protect you guys." He'd be like,
Yeah,
"You're
no,
just in my way."
I gotta look to see who that director is for it because I still need to get around to seeing Shin Godzilla,
I
which is
haven't
on
seen
my
that
list.
either. I heard it's really good
Yeah,
though.
I heard the same. I just have not gotten around to it. I did see Netflix has Shin Kamen Rider on it, which is also by oh crap, I can't remember his name.
What does the Shin stand for?
Hideoki. I don't really remember. I think it's just both Shin Godzilla and Shin Kamen Rider are both by Hideaki
Gotcha.
Anno, the Evangelion guy
Yeah.
creator. He directed both those movies, and I'm assuming that's just his stamp that he has for it. As far
Okay.
as I know, I'm sure someone can correct me with that, but that was what I understood.
All right. Real quick,
Because it
I'm gonna
seems
try
like,
one of these.
oh yeah, the Werther's. So is this your thing to share?
Apparently, no, it's not. Apparently, everyone thinks I like Werther's, so they got me a pumpkin spice one. I definitely like pumpkin spice. I'm not an old man that eats Werther's all day though. Oh, these are these are caramels. It's
Yeah,
not the
that's what Werther's always are.
no. They're usually like the hard candies. These are
Yeah,
soft.
they're like a caramel hard candy.
This is a soft chew. I don't know. I don't eat Werther's, man. It's a soft chew.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like a toffee.
It's
Is it
too.
is it good? You don't look convinced.
It doesn't really taste like pumpkin. It
Does it
just
taste like
tastes like.
allspice? That's usually what pumpkin spice is. It's just like allspice.
Doesn't even taste like that. Soft and creamy caramels with a touch of pumpkin spice. It tastes like caramel for sure.
Huh.
Definitely does not taste like pumpkin spice. I'm a little disappointed there.
It's failure of marketing then.
I mean, limited edition. The thing we should probably talk about the thing that I was going to talk about, right? Or
Yeah. I'm assuming we're coming up on time.
yeah. So I'll do two things. One was I wanted to show off. I finally got desk mats made.
Oh wow, those came out really sharp.
Yeah. So they're selling really well at the shows right now. I have to figure out a way to market them online a little better, but yeah, they're
Is that neoprene?
yep, it's the same material as playmats. It's
Okay.
just longer. The playmats are 14 by 24. These are
Mhm.
33 by 24, 33 by 23.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so about, a little bit
Decent,
longer.
right?
Yeah, and,
And
and
like a satin stitch edge.
it's got the stitch edging. It's and the edging is to the bleed.
Hmm.
So you could see like it goes straight through. I kind of wanted black stitch edging, but this works. People don't seem to care, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it looks great. I honestly, I think I kind of prefer it going to the bleed. If I had,
yeah,
I think if I had a choice between that or like the black stitch edge, I think I would
this is
prefer
the
it to the bleed.
this is a black stitch. I mean, this is a different mat, but yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on the piece, right? So like in this one, I could
Yeah,
kind of
like
feel.
that. It's not at. It wouldn't be as noticeable on that. Like that. Like my
Right.
brain would be like, yeah, sure, just
Yeah,
accept it for
on
what it
that
is.
piece, the lighter colors, it would definitely stand out.
Hmm.
Um, I guess, and then the only other thing
Yeah,
I didn't really.
those look amazing though.
You saw that 1,000 pound pallet that came in.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
I've got several hundred that I'm sitting on, but they're moving. The only other thing is I didn't really have anything prepared, so I was going to show off my two. I've been disc golfing again a lot, so I've been getting up in the mornings and disc
Mm.
golfing as exercise. But for anyone who disc golfs, this is a putter. It's a rainmaker they call it. This thing flies straight
Okay.
as hell, which is great. And then I got a Halloween one. This is the Rock, which is my mid range.
Oh,
This is just a
nice. All right.
fancy cover. You can get whatever printed on it. And the mid range, this thing flies. I throw they call it overstable, so it curves to the left when I let go.
Mm.
So this one dives left pretty hard. But the reason I'm showing this too is I'm probably gonna be working. Hopefully, I've been talking to Innova, who's one of the bigger um, disc golf companies. They sent me a link thing to print out some of my artwork on the discs to see how it looks, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna try to take some to the shows. And then if it does well, I've been in talks with their art department to see if they want to sponsor.
Now with them, or is it usually like a one color print on
Yeah, so
on?
I was gonna talk to you about this when the time I gotta work up some designs, but like almost all the discs have like this one's got like a foil on it.
Mhm.
And
But
then
it's
this one,
almost always a one color
yeah,
print
it's
of some
almost
kind.
always this one color. Um, it's a stamp, right?
Right.
I've seen like rainbow stamps, so you can do that maybe, but
But it's still like I'm assuming it's still like a one color print for all intents and purposes. Like it's not like they're doing multiple different colors or anything. It's like
no,
if
no,
it's a foil stamp, then it's like
yeah,
all
it's
just
like
the
this one's
foil
just
stamp.
red.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just and the foil stamp I just mentioned would be like a foil rainbow stamp essentially.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, so that's the other thing, right? Whatever I decide to send them, it has to be something like this. It's got to be like a single color stencil, essentially, like because
You'd have
it's
to, yeah, I was gonna say you'd have to figure out how to pare your style down into like a black and white.
yeah. Which I feel like I'll lose a lot of my aesthetic if that happens. So
Yeah, maybe like maybe if you fuck around in alchemy for a little bit, like just doing like black and white in alchemy, like and just doing your normal work process, or even like just in Photoshop, like that may tell you how to tackle that.
right,
And if you only stick to like being like, I'm only gonna make it black and white. I can't do grays. It has to be black or white.
right. Yeah, so that's
and
why like
just
I was trying to convince them to because they can do color prints on the disc too, but they just don't look as good, right? Like let me show you this.
I'm assuming it's a pain in the ass to line up the screens and everything for that.
Well, it's like so my friend gave me this disc, which I'm never gonna throw. My kid can have it, but it's Yoda.
Oh, really? Okay, wow.
So you can do something like this and put your artwork on it, right?
Hmm.
So I might this is Discraft who made this. I don't know what kind of disc this is. It's 177 grams, so it's heavy. But I might see if they can do something like this just as a test run, because
Hmm.
this is one way to do it. But my conundrum with that is it doesn't look as good in my opinion. You want the
Right,
stamp.
right.
It's just how most discs are made. So
That's
yeah,
understandable.
I don't have anything fancier than that today, unfortunately. So
I mean, I don't have anything fancy to share either. So tying back to like trying to catch up on things that I never watched before, I finally watched and finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
oh sweet.
Yeah, it was something like when I was in high school, I saw the first Full Metal Alchemist anime. Not
Right.
even all of it. I think I saw like parts of it, or like
Is it
there
on
was
Netflix?
definitely
Is it all on
some
Netflix?
Hulu
Hmm.
is what Brotherhood is on. The original anime you can't find anywhere, but Brotherhood is on
Oh,
Hulu.
I can find it somewhere.
I'll rephrase that. You can't find it anywhere that anyone wants you, that the companies want you to
Right.
see.
It's not even on
But
Crunchyroll, huh?
mm-mm,
Interesting.
absolutely not. I think it's because like Brotherhood is considered like the official, like this is the
This is the
adaptation
reboot.
of it.
Yeah, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because like the bits I remember from the high school, from when I saw it in high school, the first run, I was like, it gets weird at the end. Which when I after I finished Brotherhood, I was trying to look at the differences or like read up on the differences, and yeah, it gets weird at the end. Um, I was very shocked at how tonally different Brotherhood is compared to what I remember of the first Full Metal.
Yeah. Are they
It's like
like
night and day.
yeah, I think they probably just wanted to clean it up for a newer audience, essentially.
It was so. This is like after I kind of like looked it up afterwards. Is like I guess like the manga itself cues much closer in tone to the Brotherhood anime.
Oh, it does. Okay. How
Yeah,
does that
and
sound?
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if that's on my end or yours.
I heard it, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's in
I'll
the
have to
house.
see that for all I know, that could be my kid, I think.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, like no, I was surprised at like tonally how much different it was. But yeah, apparently what happened was because the first Full Metal Alchemist ran up against the manga not being done. The manga creator basically told him, he was like, "Hey, like you guys go off and do your own thing. I don't want you to try and like play catch up to my stuff. Like just go off and do
it's like
your own."
a weird Game of Thrones situation.
Yeah, he didn't even give like no, it wasn't even that because like in that scenario, George R. R. Martin like had a rough outline that he gave the
Oh,
showrunners.
yeah, and they still fucked up.
In this case, the manga creator, what he was like, he's like he didn't give them notes. He was like, just do your own thing because I'm gonna do my own thing, and I don't want you guys to like try and be beholden to it. So they took it from like up to like one character being killed, and then they extrapolated from there. But like, so yeah, you have this whole like anime is like really dour and stuff
Hmm.
compared to Brotherhood, which is like way more like almost like traditional, kind of like standard fare for like the kind of themes that those kind of anime have, like
Right.
that you expect from like in a Shonen Jump kind of deal. Yeah, even something like what something I was shocked by was the episode involving the Chimera. What everyone knows what that is in Full Metal with
Right, right.
the daughter and the dog. That takes place in like episode like 3 or 4 of Brotherhood, and then it's done in like one episode. And I remember it being like way bigger deal in the original one. And sure enough, like when I looked up, it was like that shit doesn't happen until like episode 23. of the original anime.
I haven't seen the original in a long time.
I had to look. I was looking up notes of this afterwards because it really was bugging me. Like, how much did this change? Because I remember, like, because I enjoyed this one so much more, and I was like, man, like, do I just not remember what this was?
I'm making a note to try to find the original Full Metal.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
don't
If you could
remember that. I
find,
don't remember it at all. So I have to like. I would have to watch the original, but Brotherhood
it's
I never
weird.
started.
It's very
So
weird. But yeah, no, yeah, I was really, really happy with it. I liked it a lot.
okay, I did hear the new Trigun was pretty good too.
Oh, the new Trigun is also very, very good. That one is it cleans up a lot of the original anime because like the
Oh,
original
okay,
anime kind of meanders and takes forever to get some things done. This one kind of cuts to the meat pretty quickly,
okay,
and it's all CG animation. And there's some spots where it's kind of like, oh yeah, you can kind of tell, but otherwise, it's really, really, really good CG animation.
okay.
Like
Have you?
it's like on the same level as oh, what was that? The League of Legends Arcane? Was that what it
Oh
was?
my god, that's such
Yeah.
a good show.
Yeah, it's about the same quality in terms of like the animation. It's that good.
Okay, well I'm gonna have to watch that too then. Yeah, League of Legends, man. If you haven't seen Arcane, you're missing out. Anyone
Yeah.
watching who hasn't seen it. So. All right, well we're a little over. I'll have to splice the first half of the video to this somehow. I gotta figure
Yeah,
out
we had a bit of the
glitch.
par for the course for us, a little bit of a glitch.
Um,
But
I don't know who the next guest is because we've got a whole list of people who want to be on. It's just a matter of seeing who's available first.
mhm.
So I
So
can't announce it.
you'll find that out when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
episode goes live, more or
You'll
less.
find that out with us. Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully it's another live one, so we'll see. But
Alan, where can we find you online?
ancientones.net and AllenPanakal art all over socials except TikTok. Um, and on Blue Sky now too. I figured out how to change it to say AllenPanakal art, so it's the same on Blue Sky.
Oh, okay. I'll have to ask
Uh,
you about that later.
yeah, there's a whole process for it. But
Gotcha.
and where can we find you?
asidesart.com, sign up for the newsletter there, or asidesart.com, or sorry, patreon.com/asidesart. I just made an announcement on my Patreon that I'm sure you saw, that you might have seen it, Alan, since you follow me on there.
Yep, I saw it.
And then if you're signed up for my newsletter, you'll get the same announcement probably this weekend. Like either like this weekend or on the 1st of October, one or the other. But yeah, I highly suggest signing up for that if you want to get in on that announcement, because you'll just get a little bit more time to get in on the sale that I'm announcing on
There
that.
you go. All right, I'm gonna try hitting the space bar real quick just to see if it stops the video.
All right, sounds good.
Let's find out. Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that ain't it either. So I don't know. Something glitched earlier.
Weird.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you guys next time.
Mm-hmm. See ya.